Let's travel into the later waves of theory where Marxism, post-Marxism, feminism, and cultural studies take new directions. This is the era of critical revisions, where earlier frameworks were stretched, questioned, and reapplied to globalization, technology, and identity. We begin with Doreen Massey, one of the most influential geographers of the late 20th century. She reminded us that space and place are never fixed. Instead, they are socially constructed, shaped by class, gender, and global economic forces. From her early work at London's Centre for Environmental Studies to her studies in Venezuela, Nicaragua, and South Africa, Massey showed that globalization produces uneven development and new forms of inequality. Her Marxist and feminist geography reshaped the way we understand not just landscapes, but power itself. Now pause here because this one is often asked in exam. Slavoj Žižek, born in 1949, is a Slovenian philosopher whose writings blend Marxism, psychoanalysis, and pop culture, often with humor and provocation. His breakthrough book, The Sublime Object of Ideology from 1989, asked, how did Marx invent the symptom? Žižek used Lacanian psychoanalysis to explain how ideology persists, not just consciously but unconsciously, shaping society in ways we barely notice. Moving next to Ernesto Laclau, the Argentine political theorist asked in exam. Dissatisfied with orthodox Marxism's narrow focus on class, Laclau argued that political identities are constructed discursively through language and articulation. His theory of radical democracy emphasized difference, identity, and coalition. Rather than one grand struggle, politics becomes the ongoing formation of alliances across diverse social groups. This brings us to the new left of the 1960s and 70s. Unlike earlier socialist movements rooted in labor and class, the new left took up civil rights, feminism, gay liberation, abortion rights, and anti-war struggles. In America, Herbert Marcuse inspired student radicals by critiquing industrial society. In Britain, Stuart Hall co-founded the New Left Review in 1960. His legacy shaped cultural studies, Black British thought, and the work of scholars like Paul Gilroy and Angela McRobbie. Remember, this name, Stuart Hall's influence, is everywhere in cultural studies. Another key intervention came from Michele Barrett. Her book, Women's Oppression Today, Problems in Marxist Feminist Analysis, published in 1980, asked in exam, critiqued traditional Marxism for ignoring patriarchy. Barrett argued that women's subordination could not be reduced to class, it must be analyzed through ideology, culture, and representation. This helped shape Marxist feminism and redirected debates about gender and power. Now let's revisit the Bakhtin Circle. Valentin Voloshinov in Marxism and the Philosophy of Language from 1929, asked in exam, argued that language is never neutral. Every word carries ideological weight shaped by social context and power relations. This insight made language itself a battlefield where cultural struggle plays out a foundation for later semiotics and discourse analysis. And remember the phrase soft capitalism? We saw it earlier, but it belongs here too. Nigel Thrift coined it in Knowing Capitalism from 2005, asked in exam. He showed how modern capitalism no longer rests just on manufacturing, but thrives on knowledge, expertise, affect, and branding. Think of emotional labor, lifestyle advertising, and image-driven economies. That's soft capitalism in action. Turning to Tony Bennett, another key theorist. His book Formalism and Marxism from 1979, this became a classic. Bennett argued that Marxist criticism doesn't have to ignore literary form. Instead, we can study how form and structure interact with ideology and history. By linking aesthetics with material conditions, Bennett bridged the gap between formalist analysis and Marxist critique, making his text a cornerstone for students of literary theory. So, from Massey's rethinking of space to Žižek's ideology as symptom, from Laclau's radical democracy to Barrett's Marxist feminism, and from Voloshinov's ideological language to Thrift's soft capitalism. The map of contemporary theory is wide and deeply interconnected. Many of these names and works have been asked in exam, so they're anchors you cannot afford to miss. And with this, we wrap up Chapter 6 on Marxist literary theory. Remember, the complete PDF for this chapter is already available in the app. You'll also find PYQs, last-minute revision notes, and the dedicated revision hub right there to strengthen your prep. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, just use the link in the video description and get started today.